Welcome to the Restfully Rich podcast. If you're still overworking, overthinking, and over-explaining yourself for money, that stops here. Hi, I'm Alyssa Simpson, Restfully Rich manifestation coach, and I say the things that other manifestation coaches are too scared to say. And if you're still trying to prove your worth, earn your money, and figure out the right way to get there, this is your sign to let all that go. I teach women how to become the version of themselves who already have what they want: the money, the clients, the love, the support, all of it, without all the extra effort and energy. So if you're ready to drop the exhausting version of you, you're in the right place. So sit back, relax, grab a cold brew, turn the volume up, and get ready to become restfully rich. Bye! Welcome back to another episode of the Restfully Rich podcast. When you are listening to this episode, some things have happened, and here's my commitment to you as my dedicated, loyal podcast cult following that I know you are. I am such a type, I'm going to say I'm type C. I lean a little bit more type A in the sense of I love organization. I really love having things off of my to-do list, but I also like to live in the flow, in the intuitiveness, if you will. And, I have to be 1000% honest with you. And if you are someone who is in my conversations, whether it's email, you're a client of mine, you're in my DMs, whatever it is, I've probably already shared this with you. But if I haven't, you're going to hear the full-blown breakdown of this on this episode today. But one thing that I want to kind of promise you is to have this podcast be in more real time, because I'm filming this on May 12th. This episode is probably going to air in June. Just because I have 3 podcast episodes already scheduled for the next coming weeks. Or let's really let the brakes off this bitch and just start randomly posting the podcast, which again, that goes against my type A love language. So I don't necessarily think that I could go full blown that route, but you never know. But what I really want to promise and to dedicate you all is, and here's the weird thing about you listening. Unless you have straight up told me, hey, I listened to your podcast, I have no idea who listens. Of course, I have my metrics and my analytics and stuff that can show me that I have almost 4,000 downloads of this podcast, but I don't know who you are. Unless you and I personally spoke to, but I only can name a handful of people that I know for a fact listen to this on a cult-like basis every week. You never miss an episode. You've heard all 132 episodes. You are in it to win it. You've been along for the ride with my evolution. You've even been a private client of mine. You've been inside of my coaching containers, but there's a good majority of you that we've never spoken to each other. So first of all, come fucking say hi to me, you weirdo. Why? Don't be some weirdo in the dark. Let's embrace each other. Let's become a team here. And you're listening to the Restfully Rich podcast. So I know for a fucking fact that you are on the way to becoming restfully rich. And here's the interesting thing about Restfully Rich, and I'm going to tie all this into this episode's purpose. The interesting thing about Restfully Rich is this is not something that is going to be really loud and showy for a few months and then die off, and people are going to hear that word in a few years and go, oh my God, I remember when that was a thing for a month. What the fuck happened to that? Because this is a movement. Okay. When I close my eyes and I imagine Restfully Rich, I imagine it as a cute, cozy living room inside of a country club that women come to every single week to get their cup filled. Just like women go to Pilates religiously, just like women have their coffee dates on Sundays religiously, just like people want to hit up brunch on Saturday religiously, just like women have book clubs that they're a part of. This is that with the intention of becoming restfully rich. Okay. This isn't a coaching container. This isn't a how to. This isn't a membership, a masterclass, of whatever the fuck. This is a living, breathing ecosystem with the Restfully Rich methodology as its foundation, okay, which I created. I'm the founder of this. And this is where I'm getting into the meat and potatoes of this conversation is I have been playing small. I know, shocker, loudmouth, uh, um, brash, that's not the right word. In your face isn't the right word either. Unapologetic, that's the word. Me, Alyssa, that you know and love and trust to be your fearless leader in all of this. I've been playing fucking small. And I've shared this with you before, but I'm going to share it again because just as we think we've overcome something, you might not fully have overcome it, okay? And I've shared with you before that I have this limiting belief that being more equals more burnout, which is one of the reasons Restfully Rich was even created, right? Because I know for a fact I've always lived the Restfully Rich lifestyle before I could even call it Restfully Rich. But because of how my experience was being a working woman, literally trading my time for money when my parents died, and then 9, 10 months later, my father-in-law died. Can you like what a crazy, like, let's just sit back and think about that. Like, that is fucking insane. And I don't ever give myself enough credit for how strong I am and how committed I am to myself that I did not let those circumstances completely and utterly ruin me. Fucking clap for me, please. Thank you. But I use that specific time in my life as proof that if I am ever successful, ever really committed, ever leading a movement or dedicated in my medicine and like living, breathing inside of my medicine, which took me 32 years to find, but it is the restfully rich methodology that is my medicine that I'm here to serve and bring to the world. I just really had to get solidified in a few things first, but one of them truly and honestly being the limiting belief that more equals burnout or more equals that I have to spend less time with my loved ones, right? And even hell, 2 years ago, I remember telling my coach at the time, I told her, I was like, I am so scared that my husband is going to die and that my last living relative, my brother, is going to die and my best friends are going to die because I have just experienced so much death and so much trauma around it that it's just inevitable, right? That it's going to happen to me again. Number one, we cannot use our past experiences as proof for what is coming for us or meant for us or any of that. And I was doing that. And I also was like, you know what? At the same breath, I was like, that can't possibly happen to me. Like, how much can one human truly and honestly endure? But I had to stop with that fear and really get clear on the fact that I am strong, I am resilient, I am going to be just fine regardless of whatever the fuck I'm here to experience in this lifetime. I signed up for this lifetime. I chose this timeline. I chose all of my circumstances that I'm going to experience. I'm here to learn lessons, to bring my medicine. I am here to experience the full experience of being a human here on planet Earth. And that's just a fact for me and myself and my life. Now, bringing it back to playing small with Restfully Rich, I was creating it as another coaching container, even though I said this is not a coaching container, right? And I have a few women inside of Restfully Rich, and going through it in the past 2 months, I'm like, this is literally another coaching container, which isn't wrong, but it's not where it needs to be, right? I'm doing the world a disservice by just doing another coaching thing, by just doing another container, by just having another round of private clients, right? Which I love, I adore. I am obsessed with everyone who is in my life who has dedicated themselves to their own evolution. However, Restfully Rich is bigger than this. Restfully Rich is so much more potent and important and just earth-shattering, groundbreaking, all of the words you can think of that mean big monumental things. That is what Restfully Rich is. Now, of course, inside of my current clients' containers that are with me through Restfully Rich, we are still going through the Restfully Rich methodology, but it's missing that component that is what Restfully Rich is meant to be. Okay. And that is a living room inside of a country club. Think Soho House, right? Think wellness center. Think retreat, right? That you go to every week. And that is exactly what Restfully Rich is. And now, because that is what it has always meant to be, and literally Source has been telling me this for months, and I've been ignoring it because I literally couldn't get over my own issues. I couldn't get over my own shit. I couldn't fathom leading a movement this large without the burnout piece, without the losing myself piece, without the sacrificing my family piece. And here's the thing, none of that shit is true. Those are just beliefs that I have. And I'm choosing, as of the last week, I've been choosing to think differently, be differently, and to decide differently. And as I said, it's May 12th. So 2 days ago, it was Mother's Day, my second Mother's Day. Also, happy belated Mother's Day to any of the women listening who got little babies with you. I don't have my mom, right? So Mother's Day has always been one of those like weird holidays for me for the past 7 years. Even before then, because I was working at Olive Garden and it's like the busiest day of the year, right? And you didn't have time to celebrate shit. Like it's all about optimization and making sure we get our tables turned and la la la, like all of the restaurant jargon bullshit just to turn some pasta into dollars and to make memories for other people at my own expense, which no knock on anyone who chooses to spend their holidays in a restaurant. They love you. They love whenever you come and choose to spend your money there. However, not for me. Never was, never will, but that's a whole different story for another day. Not to the point, but this is my second Mother's Day, and I might get a little emotional because I can already feel it in my chest talking about this, but I'm going to try to hold it together just for the sake of you hearing the words that need to be heard and not turning this into, a blubber fest, if you will. Even though I also know it's okay to show emotion and it's okay to cry and all those things, but like I really want to get this point across without it being too my own emotion because I know that you need to hear it as well. But this Mother's Day was more emotional for me. Okay. For two reasons. One reason, because now that I am a mother, I honestly can't ever imagine doing to my son what my mother did to my brother and I by taking her own life. I can't imagine him. I can't imagine robbing him the gift of seeing his mom in every stage of her life, the good, the bad, the ugly, and choosing to fight through the hard regardless. So that feeling was really overwhelming for me this Mother's Day. And that also is what kind of led me to really choosing not to shrink myself anymore because I owe it not only to myself, but to every woman who is living under the guise of building an empire through the masculine lens and not ever allowing themselves to truly experience what it is to be a mom and a business owner and someone who has this beautiful medicine that they need to give to the world, right? Another really cool thing that has happened that has allowed me to step more into this. And again, timing is everything, right? I don't believe in coincidences. I truly believe what I'm about to share with you was a gift from my mom. Um and I was just meant to see it this time around rather than sooner or later. Um oh my gosh, you guys. I really thought I'd be able to hold it together. Um okay. Get to it, Alyssa. Get to it. And we have a ton of home videos between my brother and I of our childhood. And majority of them are not even majority of them, but like a handful of them are VHSs. And we have been on the hunt for a VHS player for 7 years, because we really want to see these home videos. And my brother, we went to go spend time with them on the Saturday before Mother's Day. And he told me, he's like, oh my gosh, like we found a VHS player, and it was like only $1 at a garage sale. So we brought our VHSs to their house when we went to visit them, and we got to watch a few of them. And my brother told me, hey, you take the VHS player. I keep wanting to say VHR, the VHS player, home with you, and go through the videos, and essentially you find the good ones and let me see them, and so I don't have to do it, right? Which is a beautiful gift, and I'm so happy that I get to be the one to do it, because I like sifting through the bullshit, right? Well, this video that we watched when we got home, just Josh and I, my husband, it was before I was born. My parents lived in Fredericksburg, Virginia for a brief period of time while my brother was really little. And this was the video there. And my mom, for like 15 minutes, she has the camera going through this beautiful garden that she had. I mean, she had gourds and pumpkin and squash and sunflowers and tons of tomatoes. My dad even says in the video, he's like, we're going to have a shit ton of tomatoes, like 12,000, 16,000 tomatoes. And she planted these really beautiful marigolds all on the outside of this square garden to have like some beauty to it, and she's just showing it off and going through her process. And even she like goes to the squash, and when squash bloom, or when squash grow, there's really pretty blooms that come with it. And she was trying to find the pretty blooms, and she was like, I just love planting squash because they're just so beautiful. And I never knew that she had such an incredible garden when they lived there. I never knew. I knew she had a green thumb. Her job whenever I grew up was she got to take care of plants in downtown Dallas for big office buildings, and she worked for a company that just went and treated these plants and took care of them. And we always, I mean, photos of our home growing up, there's, I mean, bookshelves, and every available space for a plant had a plant on it, and our backyard was covered in hanging pots, and we always just had so much nature in our home, and a garden that she really cared for and tended to. But seeing it through that lens of like, this was what she loved doing, and just her voice, hearing her voice walking through the garden, and just how just sweet and soft and just everything that she was, you forget about those moments, and you forget about the person when there's so much just like trauma and sadness over like the last 5 years of her life. So it was a really beautiful thing for me to see Mother's Day weekend, and for me to get to watch and remember and to learn something new. And I just thought of my son, and I just thought, I can't wait. I can't wait for him to be my age and to see stuff like this, to hear me talk about my medicine, to watch me lead a movement, to watch me heal generations of women who just want something for themselves, but aren't taught how to do it through their own feminine nature, who are taught how to do it the way that men do it, and who are taught to abandon themselves along the way, right? I do believe that women are capable of success and are deserving of bringing their vision to life, right? We are not oppressed. We were never meant to be oppressed. And I personally believe that we've never been oppressed. I don't believe that the 50s housewife, trad wife that we're shown today was ever oppressed. My nanny was a housewife, my grandmother was a housewife, and they were not oppressed. They loved being in service that way. And women generally have a very service-led heart. But when you take that away from our natural flow and create it through the guise of build ambition, build wealth, build success through the lens of the way that men do it. Like it's almost like we're allowing you to build success, women, but you got to do it the way men are doing it. And these women have such beautiful gifts, and women are, like I said, genuinely of service, whether that's of service to their family, to their friends, to their children, to their business, to their career, whatever it is. Like we have service led hearts. Okay. And being someone who worked in the hospitality industry for almost a decade, the best people that I ever worked with, whether they were alongside me in management or they were team members or they were upper management, the best ones were the women because we have service-led hearts. And the world needs our medicine in that sense. And all of us have a gift on of us, right? Whether it's speaking, whether it's just walking into a room and lighting it up, just being in your presence, okay? And now that I am a mom, I am so understanding much more now than ever that time is so goddamn precious, y'all. We will never get time back. And that's heartbreaking, but also lights a fire under me at the same time because I refuse to spend any more time playing small. I refuse to spend any more time kind of coasting through this. I'm stepping full blown into the founder that is meant of me, right? Because I am a founder. I founded Restfully Rich. I'm building it brick by brick. It is going to be something that when I'm in my 50s, my 60s, my 70s, that I'm going to see people on the streets sporting Restfully Rich. I'm going to be able to touch women's lives through a ripple effect because the women who are inside of this living room, inside of a country club, inside of Soho House, they are the women who are letting it flow to the people they love, right? They're getting to show the people and the women that they love, hey, I learned this thing, I embodied this thing, and I'm doing things differently now through the lens of the Restfully Rich methodology. Let me teach you it. Let me show you it. And I know for a fact that I had to experience everything that I've experienced in order to be the woman that I am today, who can birth this, who can lead this, who can deliver this the way that it needs to be delivered. But I'm telling you right now, my promise to you and my promise to myself and my promise to my child and my future children and everyone around me that I pour myself into on the daily basis, this is just the fucking beginning. And I really want, oh my God, you guys, I'm so emotional. I really want my mom to know that this is for her too. Because as much as I'm doing this for me, I'm also doing this for her. I'm doing this for the version of her that she never got a chance to step into. I'm doing this for the version of her that was in her garden, tilling up the land in her fucking flip-flops. Literally, one of the clips was my dad was filming her. He's like, Gina, aren't you happy? We look at all of our tomatoes. And she has a tiller and she's, and she's smiling like, yeah, and they're fucking in her flip flops. And Josh was like, that's where you get it from. Because I'm either always barefoot or I'm doing something a little sketchy. Like he has seen me weed eat before in flip flops. He's like, you need to have tennis shoes on. I'm like, oh, well, maybe. But I'm doing it for that version of her too, you know? And now more than ever, please hear me when I say this. We're getting to a point in our human consciousness and our level of even further evolution with the rise of AI, with the rise of people, really caring about their own well-being and their own healing. At some point, the healing has to be enough and you have to step into the actual embodiment. You have to step into the actual thing that's going to allow you to restfully receive fuck you money, sustainable wealth, and generational wealth. You don't have to hustle your ass to get there. You do not have to become some boss babe, girl, boss bitch to do it. You don't have to do it while sacrificing your time. Okay? My child is only going to be this small for a very small percentage of his life. I'm never going to get this time back. Money comes back all the time. Money circulates. You can always get more money. You can always receive more money, but you're never going to get your time back. And if you're someone who is spending more time in your business rather than being a present mom, I love what I do. I love my business. I love working. But I understand that right now, this time of my life, my true and honest dedication has got to be to my son's development and my son's childhood. And one day he's going to look back on this and go, I'm so fucking thankful, mom, that you created Restfully Rich and you helped yourself and you helped other women be able to dedicate more time being a mom. I think it's so cool to see how my generation specifically is really taking back motherhood. You know, my mom and her mom, other people raised their kids, right? Like I was a daycare kid. I I spent more time at daycare than I did at home. My mom spent more time being raised by her grandparents than she did by her mother because her mother had to work, you know. We have so much more available to us now than we did. And my generation, I feel like understands the importance of present parenthood, present motherhood, actually mothering your children. I only get maybe a few years of this, and I'm not willing to sacrifice it. I'm not willing to trade it. Because I know for a fact when I'm on my deathbed, I'm going to look back and I'm going to really wish I could go back to this specific time. Therefore, we're not playing small anymore. We can't afford to play small anymore. You included. You included. Please fucking hear these words. Time is so goddamn precious. And you owe it to yourself to learn how to become restfully rich now. So you don't have to do it when it's too fucking late. Okay? Well, I'm not going anywhere. The Restfully Rich movement isn't going anywhere. But why would you wait any more time? Why would you allow any more time to pass where you could come inside of Restfully Rich, learn the methodology, allow your cup to be filled by the proximity of being in this fucking private room with me and the other women involved? It's that luxurious community that you've been secretly craving. A lot of women who are mothers in my generation always talk about, you know, community is everything. We want more community. I'm literally handing you a beautiful, aligned community on a silver platter. You have no reason not to say yes. I have restructured and refined Restfully Rich. You can check all of the refinement in the link below, but it is different than what it was just a few fucking weeks ago because I've heard you loud and clear. I've been having conversations. Have been ignoring what source has put on my heart. And this past 48 hours, week or whatever, I've been hit like a freight train and I feel so lightheaded right now. And I honestly think it's just because like I am moving through in real time, like what this actually is. And like it's hitting me even more. And I think that's a lot of also where this emotion is coming from because time is of the essence. Time is so precious. Time is so important and time is fleeting. We're never going to get this moment back. Right? So because I've been having conversations and I've heard all the women so loud and clear, I've heard source so loud and clear. I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this for you. I'm doing it for my mom. I'm doing it for my son. I'm doing it for the hundreds of thousands of women who will one day step into the Restfully Rich framework and elevate their entire fucking lives and the lives around them. I have refined it. I have created something different, something more sacred, something more luxurious and private and cozy and fulfilling, right? It's not a coaching container. That's not what this is. And if you have any questions, if you really want to see if this is for you, please email me. Please send me a direct message on Instagram. Please find a way to contact me so you and I can feel if this spot is actually aligned for you. This episode was a little bit more emotional. I'm not going to apologize for that. I am human. I am processing life in real time with you. But what I am going to say is you can only stay exactly where you are for so long until no more healing is going to fix it, until no more optimization is going to fix it, until no more anything is going to fix it, rather than just choosing to learn a methodology that's going to actually make the change for you. Okay? I'll see you next week. Bye. Expansion isn't quiet. So if this activated you, do not keep it to yourself. Share this episode, post it, put it in the group chat, let it ripple. And if you feel the shift that this work creates, leave a review. Not for me, but for the woman who finds this next because of you. That's how rooms like this grow, with women who know the value of what they found.